Just a very big news week overall, with Trump pushing to denuclearize the major world powers. Trump apparently said that he and Putin had talked about, quote, denuclearizing, and that, quote, there's no reason for us to be building brand new nuclear weapons. On top of that, he wants China and Russia to meet with him to discuss cutting their annual defense budget by 50% each. So, a reciprocal cutback in defense spending so that money can be spent elsewhere. Really amazing reforms that we're seeing. I think, anyways, maybe some people want, continued threat of nuclear war, but that's not what most reasonable people want. And then, of course, it came out that this is a headline from the New York Post. Came out that HHS splurged more than $22 billion on grants for migrants, including cash for new cars, home loans, and business startups. $22 billion for migrants that could have been spent on actual citizens or not spent at all, right? We have supposedly a free market. You make your own money or you don't. Shouldn't be taxpayers deciding which startups succeed and which people get brand new cars. It seems like the marketplace should probably decide that. One thing that's going viral on social media is an explanation supposedly given to somebody by an actual attorney that goes into how Trump and Elon Musk are orchestrating this DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, this sudden audit and overview of the government, as well as slashing a number of programs. This is the legal mechanism, supposedly, through which they're doing it. I'm going to read it because it's fascinating. So this lawyer who apparently read Trump's DOGE executive order and expecting some illegal power grab to be contained therein, found it to be actually airtight. Turns out Trump and Musk did not create anything, Obama did. Obama created the United States Digital Service, or USDS, in 2014. It was meant as a bureaucratic patch job to fix the Obamacare website meltdown. Fast forward to 2025, Trump rebrands it DOGE, United States Doge Service, keeps the acronym, keeps the funding, but gives it a whole new mission: find the receipts. Legally untouchable because it was already fully funded and operational. Trump invokes 5 U.S.C. 3161, whatever that is in the U.S. Code, which allows him to create temporary hiring authority. DOGE teams get embedded inside every single federal agency. Each team consists of a lawyer, HR rep, a Zoomer nerd, and an investigator. They report to DOGE, not the agency they're actually embedded in. But wait, there's more. Trump invokes 44 U.S.C. Chapter 35, which governs federal IT and cybersecurity oversight. Since USDS was originally an IT oversight body, DOGE now has full access to all federal data systems. Yes, that's right, all of them. His executive order is written to block legal challenges, includes language that overrides conflicting executive orders, orders every agency to comply. Refusal means they're violating presidential authority. Congress can't defund it because it's not a new program, just a repurposed one. DOJ can't sue for overreach because Trump used existing laws exactly as written. Democrats trying to file legal challenges run into standing issues because DOGE operates within existing frameworks. Obama literally built the perfect administrative state, IT backdoor. Trump and Musk just hacked the system and took the admin controls. Musk now has legal oversight of every major agency's internal systems. The administrative state can't stop it without rewriting multiple federal laws. They legally outplayed the system, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Wow. So again, I don't know how valid that legal analysis is, but that's apparently what's allowing them to look so quickly into these agencies' funding and where the money's going. And so far, some of it's outrageous. So far, some of it's absolutely outrageous. Of course, the transgender operas in Colombia, actually real, not a fake news story, but we were actually funding for some reason, not only operas in Colombia, which is really none of the U.S.'s business when we have people who are homeless in North Carolina from the weather there, and people without homes in Los Angeles due to the fires over there. And we have veterans who are homeless and don't have jobs. Really not our business to be funding operas of any kind in other people's countries, much less a transgender opera. And then a lot of the money was just going to what seemed to be these kind of money laundering loops. So they found multi-million-dollar grants to people within these agencies and to contractors close to these agencies, where they're paid like 2.2 or 2.3 million dollars for quote additional oversight. But it's like, what are they overseeing? What are they actually spending the money on that requires a couple $1,000,000 to be wired to them for quote oversight? It seems like a total money grab. It seems like theft. And President Trump has called out some of these more egregious findings from DOGE. Here's what he said the other day, quote, radical left Reuters was paid $9 million by the Department of Defense to study large-scale social deception. Give back the money now. Give back the money now. You read that right. So Reuters, one of the big news agencies, which America's newspapers rely on for content, and the cable networks, Reuters right up there at the Associated Press, right? So they were apparently paid $9 million of taxpayer money by the DOD to study conducting large-scale social deception, or how to combat large-scale social deception. At best, the total waste of money. And then we have Michael Schellenberger, who's considered one of the best investigative journalists in the country. He's frequently on MSNBC and Fox and other outlets. He posted on X, he posted, quote, USAID said it was a charitable group. It was not. It was a tool for regime change. After 2016, it turns its guns inward. In 2019, a front group it created fabricated the evidence used by the CIA, moles in the White House, and House Democrats to impeach Trump. That's treason. Wow. So that's from Schellenberger. So this is all coming out on social media, and it's weird that my Google News feed is so frustrating because it's just almost identical articles where the angle is like Elon Musk should not be allowed to do this. This is mean. This is not friendly. And it's like, but he is allowed to do it if that legal analysis I read is correct. And regardless, he is doing it. And it seems to be what voters wanted. It seems to be exactly what voters wanted, is greater accountability into this seemingly unaccountable machine that all of us are paying roughly half of our money into. And it's given the money out to operas in Colombia and to unknown oversight folks. We don't know who these people are or why they're qualified to oversee things, and they're getting millions of dollars for seemingly no work at all. It seems, again, like literal theft. And I don't know why you'd be against ending that. I really don't. If you want to make some kind of weird macroeconomic argument that if we suddenly pull the plug on all this grift, that the economy is going to go, off a cliff because the economy relies on all this large S and fraud, basically. If that's your argument, we should at least redirect the money to people who need it. It should go to the homeless, or it should go to the out-of-work veterans, or literally anything other than where it's currently going. And so, again, to not applaud greater oversight of your own government is so ludicrous to me. I mean, these people haven't learned anything from the election. They've gotten even stranger. But everything in my personal life is going relatively well. I think the money spent on some legal help has been definitely helpful. And I'm not going to be somebody who allows myself to be a target just because some people see, oh, he's doing well again. He's got his YouTube back. Presumably he has some money coming in. Let's make this guy our piñata. If we just break open the piñata, we'll get some candy. No, you won't. The lawyers are looking at every single piece of candy in that piñata. You're not getting shit, you folks out there who think suddenly you could come after me. It was fun being silenced for years. I just grew my personal wealth and learned about the world and kind of beefed up on first principles and metaphysics, and was reading, during COVID, was reading a lot of white papers, both crypto and quantum computing stuff. And overall, I found it not to be a traumatic experience. I found it kind of nice to be just left alone for a long period of time with no real expectations put upon me other than try not to get COVID, right? And so I learned a lot during those couple of years. And it seems like some people have just gone off this squirrely deep end where they feel entitled to everything. And I'm not the only person saying this, that it seems like COVID has broken a lot of people's brains. Like their logic has gone down and the entitlement and the selfishness has gone up. And I don't really understand it, but it's not my problem. We're going to move full steam ahead, all thrusters on, static takeoff, so to speak, here at Fulcrum. It's a static takeoff. This is incredible stuff we're reporting on. Again, how can you oppose greater oversight or greater transparency if you're one of the people who is feeding at the trough of all this corruption? I can see why you'd be upset, but it's time to get a job. As they used to say years ago when people were displaced by changes, learn to code. Why don't you learn to code? Well, why don't these mostly older folks in DC and Virginia who've been siphoning off the rest of us, why don't they either get a job or learn to code? But either way, don't be sore losers in public, because it comes across as extraordinarily pathetic and entitled. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, link should be in the description somewhere. Thanks again.